If you have successfully outgrown your 5-seater crossover but absolutely refuse to surrender your dignity to a minivan, Chevrolet thinks they have your silver bullet. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to CB Auto News. Today we are dissecting the freshly leaked details and specs for the 2027 Chevrolet Traverse. This 3-row behemoth is incredibly important right now because it acts as a Tahoe light, offering massive family space without completely devouring your garage footprint. But with absolute juggernauts like the Kia Telluride dominating this segment, does the new Traverse genuinely bring enough heat to justify its premium price tag, or is it just another uninspired appliance on wheels? Let's dive in. Stepping up to the Traverse, it certainly borrows some visual muscle from its larger Tahoe sibling, but the real magic happens when you open the doors. Chevy has essentially built a cavernous living room on wheels. You get standard second-row captain's chairs, or an optional bench on the LT trim to fit 8 passengers. Impressively, the third row actually accommodates full-grown adults. The seat bottom is mounted high enough that you aren't forced into that miserable knees-to-chest squatting position. Tech-wise, a gigantic 17.7-inch Google-based infotainment screen dominates the dash, flanked by an 11.0-inch digital cluster. But here is my brutal skepticism. While the screens look wonderfully futuristic, the tactile experience is let down by scratchy, cheap plastics scattered throughout the cabin. Furthermore, while folding all the seats unlocks a mammoth 97 cubic feet of space, popping that third row up leaves you with severely limited cargo room for a family road trip. Let's pop the hood, because this is where the Traverse leaves me seriously conflicted. Chevrolet ditched the old V6 and dropped in a turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder pushing 331 horsepower and 335 pound-feet of torque, made it exclusively to an 8-speed automatic. You can stick with front-wheel drive or step up to the rugged Z71 trim for a twin-clutch all-wheel drive system and all-terrain tires. On paper, 331 horsepower sounds properly stout. In reality, the acceleration is overwhelmingly average, and when you put your foot down, the engine note sounds harsh and gruff rather than refined. Put this Traverse head-to-head with the Mazda CX-90, and the Chevy falls completely flat dynamically. The Mazda delivers sharp, engaging handling, while the Traverse suffers from slow, heavy truck-like steering. Yes, the suspension controls body roll nicely, and the ride is comfortably steady, but it is utterly devoid of driving joy. At least the standard trailering package lets you tow a respectable 5,100 pounds. When can you park this family hauler in your driveway, and how much will it damage your wallet? The 2027 Chevrolet Traverse is expected to arrive around mid-2027, with starting prices kicking off at $42,795 and climbing to an eye-watering $57,395 for top-tier models. Let's talk value. At over $42,000 to start, it is a steep ask when rivals offer richer interior materials for far less cash. However, GM's phenomenal Super Cruise hands-free driving tech is available and standard on RS and high country trims. The ideal buyer here is the high-mileage parent who prioritizes effortless highway cruising and legitimate third-row legroom over carving up twisty back roads. To sum it up, the 2027 Chevrolet Traverse absolutely nails the 3-row family basics with stellar tech and undeniable practicality, but it desperately lacks the powertrain refinement and dynamic road manners of its top-tier rivals. Now I want to hear your unfiltered thoughts. Would you happily endure cheap plastics and numb steering to get Super Cruise and an adult-sized third row, or are you taking your hard-earned money straight to Kia for a Telluride? Sound off in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.